Hello everyone, let us continue with the module 5 topics. In this video, we are going to discuss about the types of schedules like serial schedules and non-serial schedules. Okay. Now let's look into the second type of serializability, that is the view serializability. This view serializability is a process to find out that a given schedule is view serializable or not. Okay, so to check whether a given schedule is view serializable, we need to check whether the given schedule is view equivalent to its serial schedule. So if it is view equivalent to serial schedule, then we can say that a given schedule is view serializable. Fine. So how to find out whether the given schedules are view equivalent? So the two schedules S and S bar are said to be view equivalent if they met three conditions. The three conditions are initial read, updated read, and final write. So if these three conditions are satisfied by both S and S bar, they are said to be view equivalent. So if they are view equivalent, then the given schedule is view serializable too. Okay. So by checking that a given non-serial schedule is view serializable, we can make sure that it is a consistent schedule. Okay. Now let's look into these three conditions in detail. Let's look into the first condition, that is the initial read. So an initial read of both schedules must be the same. Okay, suppose that we are having two schedules S1 and S2. So in schedule S1, if a transaction T1 is reading the data item A, then in S2, the transaction T1 should also read A. So in the given example, S1 and S2 are view equivalent because initial read operation in S1 is done by T1 and in S2 it is also done by T1. Okay, so the initial read of both the schedules must be the same. So that is the first condition. So in the example, T1 is reading A and in S2 also T1 is reading A. So the initial read by both the schedules are same, and so this S1 and S2 are view equivalent. Condition is updated read. In schedule S1, if T1 is reading A, which is updated by T2, then in S2 also T1 should read A, which is updated by T2. So in the given example, S1 and S2 are not view equal because in S1, T3 is reading A, which is updated by T2. And in S2, T3 is reading A, which is updated by T1, not by T2. So there occurs a mismatch. So in schedule S1, if T1 is reading A, which is updated by T2, then in S2 also T1 should read A, which is updated by T2. Okay, then only we can say that it met the updated read condition. And the third condition is final write. A final write must be the same between both the schedules. That is, in schedule S1, if a transaction T1 updates A at last, then in S2 also the final write operation should be done by T1. Okay. So in the given example, S1 and S2, the final write on A is done by T3. Okay. So in S1 as well as in S2, the write of A, the final write on A is done by the transaction T3, and so they are view equal. So two schedules S and S bar are said to be view equivalent if the three conditions like initial read, updated read, and final write are met. Okay. Condition 1 and 2, the initial read and updated read, ensure that each transaction reads the same values in both schedules and therefore performs the same computation. And the condition 3, that is the final write, coupled with the condition 1 and 2, ensures that both schedules result in the same final system state. So the concept of view equivalence leads to the concept of view serializability. So a schedule S is view serializable if it is view equivalent to a serial schedule. Okay. Okay, as we know, for n transactions, the total number of possible schedules are n factorial. Fine. So in this given schedule S, we'll be having three transactions, T1, T2 and T3. Okay, so for three transactions, the total number of possible schedules are 3 factorial, which is equal to 6. Okay, so the various schedules are the schedule 1, T1 followed by T2, then T3. In S2, T1 executes first, then T3 followed by T2. In S6, T3 first executed, then T2, then T1. So based on the order of execution, we'll be having 6 possible schedules. Fine. So let us look into the first schedule, that is the S1. The order of the schedule transactions are T1 followed by T2, then T3. Okay. So we need to check whether the three conditions are met. Okay, so we need to check whether the schedule S1 is view serializable or not. For that, we need to check the three conditions. The first condition is initial read. So the initial read operation in S and S1, whether they are matching or not. So in S, it is done by T1, and in S1 also it is done by T1. So initial read operation in S and S1 is done by the same transaction. So that condition is matching. And in step 2, the step 2 is updated read. In both the schedules, we are having only one read, that is the initial read. So in both S and S1, there is no read except the initial read, and so no need to check that condition. There is no need, no read operation which is updating any value. So we are not checking that step 2. Fine. And in the third step, that is the final write operation. The final write operation in S as well as S1 is done by the transaction T3. So since all these three conditions are met, we can say that the schedule S and S1 are view equivalent. Okay, so among the 6 schedules, the first schedule S1 satisfies all three conditions, and so we don't need to check other schedules. Okay, so hence view equivalent serial schedule of the given schedule S is T1 followed by T2, then T3. Okay. Every conflict serializable schedule is also view serializable, but there are view serializable schedules that are not conflict serializable. So a precedence graph, which is also known as a serialization graph or a conflict graph, can be used for testing the conflict serializability of a schedule. If the schedule S is serializable, then there should not have any cycle in the precedence graph. Okay, so the schedule S is said to be serializable if there is no cycle in the precedence graph. Okay. A precedence graph is a directed graph which consists of nodes n and the directed edges e. Okay, so there is one node in the graph for each transaction ti in the schedule. Okay, so if you're having two transactions in the schedule, we'll be having two nodes in the precedence graph. Fine, and each edge ei in the graph is of the form tj to tk, comma 1 less than or equal to j less than or equal to n, 1 less than or equal to k less than or equal to n, where tj is the starting node of ei and tk is the ending node of ei. Okay, for example, if you are having two transactions T1 and T2, T1 is the starting node and T2 is the ending node. And there will be having a directed edge from T1 to T2 such that edge from T1 to T2 is created if one of the operations in T1 appears in the schedule before conflicting the operations in T2. Okay, so a directed edge from T1 to T2 is created if one of the operations in T1 appears in the schedule before some conflicting operation in T2. Okay, that is it. The T1 precedes the actions of T2. Okay. Okay, now let's look into the algorithm for creating the precedence graph. As we know, the precedence graph consists of nodes and directed edges. Okay, so the first step is we need to create the nodes for all the participating transactions in the schedule. Okay, suppose that if the schedule consists of 3 transactions, namely T1, T2, T3, then we need to create 3 nodes with names T1, T2 and T3. Fine. So now we created the nodes. So the second step is we need to create the directed edges between these nodes. Okay. For that we have to follow some rules. The first condition is for every condition in schedule S, create an edge from TP to TQ in the graph if the transaction TQ implements a read item of Z after TP implements a write item of Z. Okay, so that is if the transaction TQ implements or done a read operation after TP performs the write operation on the same data item, then that is a read-write conflict. Okay, so we'll be creating an edge from TP to TQ. Okay, so where TQ implements a read item of Z after TP implements a write item of Z. Okay. Then the next rule is for every condition in schedule S, create an edge TP implies TQ in the graph if a transaction TQ implements a write item of Z after TP implements a read item of Z. That is, it is a write-read conflict. So the TQ implements a write item after TP implements a read item. So it is a write-read conflict. There also will be creating an edge from TP to TQ. And the third condition is for every condition in schedule S, create an edge TP to TQ in the graph if a transaction TQ implements a write item of Z after TP implements a write item of Z. That is, it is a write-write conflict. There is a blind write operation. So the TQ implements a write item after TP implements a write item. So we will be having an edge from TP to TQ because TQ implements the write item after the TP. Okay. So using these rules, we will be forming the directed edges between these transactions. Okay. And if and only if there is no cycle in the precedence graph, then only we can say that the schedule S is serializable. Okay. Let's look at an example. Here we are having two transactions, namely transaction P and transaction Q. Okay. So we need to create two nodes. One is for the transaction P and the second one is for transaction Q. Okay. So that is the first step in the precedence graph creation. Okay, fine. Then the second step is we need to draw the edges from the or between these transactions or between these nodes. Okay. So when we look into that, the transaction TP implements a read A before the transaction TQ implements write A. Therefore, the first arrow should be directed from the transaction TP towards transaction TQ. Okay, so the transaction TP reads A before the transaction TQ implements writes A. Okay, so there should be an edge from TP towards TQ. Fine. Then the transaction TQ reads B before transaction TP writes B. Okay, so therefore the second arrow is directed from transaction TQ towards transaction TP. Okay, we can see that there occurs a cycle in this graph. Since the graph is cyclic, the schedule S is not conflict serializable. So with the help of this precedence graph, we can determine whether the schedule S is conflict serializable or not. If the graph consists of loops or cycles, then it is not conflict serializable. Okay. So in this video, we discussed about the view serializability and the precedence graph, how to create a precedence graph, the algorithm for creating a precedence graph. Okay, thank you.